So, hello everyone. Um, we're happy to be here with Professor Tony Attwood. And I first want to present our CEO, Gil, and our head of product, Noga. And we also have our partner in Australia, Chrisley. And now I will ask you, Tony, a few questions. We're so happy that you are here with us. And the first question is, um, for those who may not know you, please tell us about yourself and your background.
Okay, I'm a clinical psychologist, and I wanted to be a psychologist when I was 14 years old. And then when I was at university and 19 years old, I met two classically autistic children, became entranced by how they were different, and decided I wanted to become a specialist in autism. Now, this coming July, that will be 50 years ago.
Wow.
So I have been exploring the autism world for 50 years. Now, in all its expressions, from those profoundly disabled to those you have to look very hard to find the characteristics. From very young children, only a few months old, to those in their 80s and 90s. So I cover the whole spectrum. I'm a clinician primarily. I do support research and mark PhD theses. I write books, present workshops at international conferences. But there's another dimension, and that is that there is autism in my family, my son and granddaughter. So my knowledge isn't just as a clinical psychologist, it's as a parent and grandparent.
Hmm. Wow. Incredible 50 years. So tell us, because we're talking about EmotiPlay, right, which is a program to teach children about emotions, to understand emotions. And why is learning emotions important? Why is it important for kids with autism to learn how to express themselves and their own emotions and to understand the emotions of others?
My clinical work is all ages, including adults of various ages. And I will often ask them, what are your biggest challenges in life? Because in autism, there are many challenges. And the overwhelming answer is managing my emotions, my anxiety, my depression, my anger, more so than making friends and getting a job and sensory sensitivity. My biggest challenge is managing and expressing emotions. And they say, people really haven't helped me in that. And I needed help when I was a kid. But they taught me mathematics and geography and history and all sorts of sciences, but they didn't tell me about emotions. I've had to learn by my own experiences. So in autism, although it's not in the diagnostic criteria, often their greatest challenge in their daily life as kids and adults is in the area of understanding emotions, perceiving emotions in themselves, other people, how to regulate those emotions, how to express them, are major reasons why that person's quality of life isn't as it should be, considering their abilities.
Hmm. Yeah. And tell us, what processes do kids and young adults on the spectrum need to go through that other people don't in order to learn about emotions?
There are many reasons why autistic children and adults have challenges in their daily life with emotions. And often it's perceiving internal and external emotions. When you say to the person with autism, what are you feeling now? They'll say, well, it's not a nice feeling. It's not nice, but I don't know what it is, but it's not a nice feeling. So often it's perceiving the internal signals when they are in the early stages, because often they only identify them a little bit later on, but also identifying emotions in other people. Now that's going to regulate your social interaction, because in many ways, the autistic person may not be aware of what they have said or are doing is affecting the emotions of other people. But there's also another dimension in autism we're exploring called alexithymia. And that's the ability to convert thought and emotion to speech. So they have a feeling, but they can't explain what it is. And the problem is often the immediacy and intensity of emotion is too difficult for the person to manage. But another dimension, and as you can tell, there are many, is reduced repair mechanisms. Typical kids and adults can use disclosure, can use affection, compassion, put it in perspective. They have a huge range of emotional communication and repair mechanisms. In autism, it's either smash it, solitude, or escape into your special interest as a thought blocker. So their repair mechanisms are less. So the more we explore this, the more we understand how complex the area is and how much they need to learn.
Right. And please tell us, after you've been using the EmotiPlay program, what you think about it and how you think people on the autism spectrum will benefit from the EmotiPlay program.
Okay. First of all, I think it's great. Damn it, you did it. If I was going to do it, I would do exactly what you've done. You've done it as I would love to do it. I like it on many levels. There are aspects of the content, the videos, the actors that are involved, the explanation, all resonate with my understanding of autism. As I went through the program, I kept saying, yeah, that's it, succinct, clear. You've got rid of all the background details that can be distracting. That allows the person with autism to really understand. It is logical, progressive, positive feedback, and a lot of ways of consolidating the information and picking up the patterns. It's brilliant. I wish I'd done it.
Wow, thank you. Why do you think, I mean, maybe you answered this just now, but why do you think EmotiPlay is different from the things we've seen before? What makes it special?
It's special because there's a compendium of explanations, which I think is great. It's very engaging. It's very diverse. It covers basic emotions, but it also goes, and the last section is on kindness and unfriendliness. So it goes into the area of the crossover between emotional and social. So it's gone where nobody else has gone before. So it is really appealing to those with autism because they'll be saying, this is what I need to know. Thank you.
Yeah. And in EmotiPlay, there's also the part of the feed where the kids can upload their pictures and the therapists and parents can comment and like them. This is this is a safeguarded place for the kids to learn how to use social media and interact with pictures and content. We also hear a lot about bullying on social media. My question is, what role can EmotiPlay have in helping kids on the spectrum learn about communication on social media? Do you have any thoughts on that matter?
With social media, there are always good news and bad news. The good news is EmotiPlay will allow the person to upload their own photographs. So it's personalized. Otherwise, their view is, I don't know this person. Each person is different. I'm not good at generalizing to other people. But here's a picture of my Aunt Mary having a panic attack. Here's my Uncle George, very angry. Here's me being incredibly sad. And so it becomes very real in the person's life. And that's crucial. Otherwise, it becomes artificial. It's great that the actors are doing it. But if you want to make it very real for the person, it really needs their own family and friends. But the other side of social media is the bullying and teasing and the misuse of that. And this is where EmotiPlay really does need someone to give guidance in what is occurring, but also to explain there are good aspects of social media that will give you information, but there are other areas that people can take advantage of you. And one of the characteristics of autism is a vulnerability for bullying and teasing, but also mocking and rejection. And this can be more powerful than bullying and teasing, is to be rejected. and mocked, humiliated. All those sorts of things have a powerful effect on self-esteem. And what many of those with autism have felt, when it comes to emotions, they get me into trouble. I don't want to go there. I don't want to talk about being angry because I'm going to get into trouble. I just don't want to go there. But this is an approach that, should we say, explores anxiety, sadness, and anger, and so on, in an educational, exploratory way, rather than you're in trouble and we're going to help you relive emotions that you feel uncomfortable with, but you're going to have to do it. By making it fun and engaging, you take away the guilt and the fear associated with your emotional life.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. There's also something that could seem counterintuitive about using computers and educational software to teach about something so human like emotions. In your mind, how does this work, and what's the logic behind this?
I think with autism, you've got to get rid of the irrelevant bits and you've got to focus on what's the cue to look for here. Often they are bombarded by eyes, voice, movements, context, and so on. And there's too much, and there's irrelevance of what the person's wearing and what hat they got on, and are they at a circus or are they in the classroom? And so what do I look at? What are the key important parts? And that's what EmotiPlay provides. It's total focus on the cues to identify feelings in yourself and other people. And it uses actors, which is great. It's where to look and freeze and find out what the important bits are. But it has the approach of the professor and the other young man with the beard and so on, who are there as an exploration rather than punishment. Because again, emotions are associated with suspension, punishment, consequences, and so on. And they're then saying, okay, we need to explore this. This is weird. And the autistic kid goes, yeah, it is. They feel that they've got a friend because they haven't got a friend who's explaining this to them. And the whole approach of EmotiPlay is it's your best friend here explaining what you need to know. So I think in many ways, it creates a framework to explore emotions, and it also focuses on positive as well as negative emotions as well.
Good. Thank you. And please tell us, what would you like to see in terms of expanding EmotiPlay?
Okay, if I use the modern terminology, it's a platform. Yes, I think it's called a platform. Platforms are where you can place things. I think there are new areas to explore. One is love and affection. I know you've talked about sadness and anxiety and so on, but many parents will say, I yearn for a hug, I yearn for affection. And the autistic kid goes, but why are you obsessed with being told you're loved? Why do you want me to squeeze you? And how does squeezing me solve the problem? It's called a hug, but it's just holding me. It doesn't help. And so I would suggest love and affection. Sort of the early stages are like. How do you know you like someone? How do they express like to you? But how do you express love to family members and others and in return? So I think in particular, that would be very important for parents. It would explain why neurotypicals are weird and wanting to be hugged all the time. But it also moves into adolescence of crushes and how do you express that you really like someone. So one of the things I would like you to move into, teenagers, please, because their emotions are all over the place. But also I would look at the stage 2, and I was thinking what emotions, jealous, embarrassed, teasing, friendly teasing and unfriendly teasing. The art of attentive listening would be important. How to resolve conflict in compromise, emotion control, in conflict resolution, and forgiveness. So it's moving into, I know you'll have done the basic emotions, but you need to move to more subtle and complex emotions as the kid progresses, especially in the upper primary school ages. New emotions are coming in, and it may not be that the person with autism is actually experiencing this, but their peer group are, of a crush on someone. And why are the girls interested in this boy? And why are the boys interested in this girl's physique? And that's ridiculous, absolutely stupid. Why on earth are you doing that? And so it's understanding emotions as they evolve into new dimensions. So that's a sort of a stage 2 for you to consider.
Very interesting. Thank you. What pre-existing skills do you think participants should have to benefit from EmotiPlay?
At what level would I recommend the program? To be honest, I would say more primary elementary school level than preschool kindergarten level. I think the ideas, the management, all those sorts of things require a grade 1 to about at least a grade 6 level or equivalent of that. So it's going to be important for those who chronologically are older, maybe 14, 15, but developmentally, emotionally, are at the 7 or 8 year level. So for many with autism, don't look at their chronological age, look at their level of emotional maturity. It also involves certain linguistic skills and cognitive skills. So some of the advanced concepts require a person to understand complex information, social rules and conventions. So I would say around about grade 1 to 6, but I'm looking for you to look at grade 7 plus.
Wonderful. Would you recommend this product to other practitioners as a tool for teaching emotions?
Oh, I would very strongly recommend it because you can trust it. It's very engaging for the child. It's not a question, oh, mom, what have I got to do? Oh, I hate this. Why have I got, this is punishment. No, it's fun. And the idea is you learn when you're having fun. And it's not something that is a consequence of trashing your bedroom. So I've got to do this program. It's really an engagement and enjoyment and fun for the child. It also has clear goals and expectations, which are easy to understand and identify in a context relevant to the child. So I think this is a universal program, not only for the kid themselves, but parents, psychologists, therapists, a whole range of people. In other words, wherever someone needs to learn about emotions, take this out.
And what do you think, what should therapists and parents look for when seeking programs and therapies for their children, and what do they need to look out for?
I think there are a number of components. In a way, this is educational. So it's going to be of great value to teachers if they can have time in the academic curriculum to do this. It's usually therapists. For example, all the programs here on the communication of emotions. Speech therapists are going to be involved, occupational therapists. There's no profession that this is the exclusive province. All teachers, educators, therapists, and parents will benefit from this. And I think what they know is that right from the very beginning, you've got the kids' attention. They're not good at looking at a person, reading them, and engage. Many therapists say that doesn't work, but they will attend to a screen. In fact, a screen is their natural way of learning. When we look at their cognitive profile, their best way of learning is on a screen, because on a screen, you don't have to socialize. And you have an ability to follow what's going on that is self-paced. It's not as complex and chaotic, and you're not vulnerable. If you're in a group setting, kids are going to roll their eyes, look at you as though you're stupid. Or don't you know that? Duh, everyone knows that. But as you go through the grind, at no stage does anyone say, well, you're stupid, you should know that. Duh. And that's what's so encouraging, is it encourages, it doesn't ridicule or criticize. And that's the way to learn with autism.
Very, very true. You must have seen tens, if not hundreds, of products geared towards kids on the spectrum. Please tell us, what is it about EmotiPlay that is different for practitioners?
I think the technical dimension, but for the kids too, you've got to have it up to date. They don't want a second-rate program with graphics that are boring and 5 years out of date. So you have to keep updating your graphics and so on to be consistent. But it's the technical dimensions, for example, using the animations, actors, all those sorts of things. So it's a multimedia approach. And you can, as a professional, you can select which bits you want to focus on. It is very mix and match. You may have a particular problem, maybe anger, and you may select various components. You may not go from stage one all the way through. Yes, you can. But as a professional, you may say, no, this is the bit I want to focus on. And so you can actually do that. It's interactive, which is excellent. It's very personalized. It's very deep and thorough. So it's up to the professional to decide how they're going to use it, because you have so many resources. It's up to you.
Thank you. So, as we mentioned earlier, there is a collaboration and group learning aspect to EmotiPlay. How do you see this benefiting the kids?
I think it benefits them because you're not in trouble. And learning about emotions is fun, interesting, and valuable. And we all need to explore it. And this will help you in a variety of ways, but also not feeling stupid, because these kids know I'm not reading the cues within me and other people about their emotions. And people can't understand. If I can tell them every dinosaur in the Jurassic period, but I can't tell them about emotions. And that's what they need. And it's really what they want to know. To do this with typical kids, they will go, yeah, duh, I know this. This is boring. Whereas those with autism, they say, really? Oh, I didn't know where to look in the face. I didn't know what that meant. Ah, it's clear to me now. Where previously it's been a fog, it blows away the fog.
Very true. There's a great deal of content inside the program: photos, videos, voices, activities. Is it even feasible that a therapist could put something like this together? How much time would be involved in trying this endeavor independently?
Oh, don't try. Why invent the wheel? Somebody's done it, use it. The idea is to help the kids, not make your own reputation and things like that, and spend many years developing it when somebody's already done it. We have the problems now, and we need to use the resources. So it's using those technical skills. I think over time, people will see how they can augment EmotiPlay in a variety of different ways. But take it. You can use bits of it. And eventually, I think as a platform, there will be new sections. So watch this space, because new modules will be added over time.
Thank you, Professor Attwood, for taking the time to speak with us. We are excited also to have you involved with EmotiPlay for the next developments to come.